So here are a few little sessions from my first week with Handsome. I'm starting off, this is day 3. Day 1 would have been first meeting him. Day 2 I did some protective contact feeding to help him sort of understand what the yes and the treat meant. And now I'm doing a little bit of liberty. You can see he totally doesn't understand wanting to come with me on the right side, but we get there. I'm trying to get him to take a step forward and follow my hand. And he's like, I don't understand, but we get there. Part of the reason I'm looking at this guy as a project, and possibly for long term, we'll see, is I'm looking for something to do some tricks and trails and kind of experiment a little bit more with the training processes that I've been working on lately with the Liberty and the trick training. But I like the fact that this guy is a clean slate with tagging up. I'll just add there, he's still trying to figure out how to take the treats quietly. Sometimes he gets a little bit excited and quite opens his mouth, and to kind of help that, I lift my hand up and feed him a little higher, and he's a little less mouthy. Just spending a little bit of quiet time here. What you saw just a second ago was I'd put some treats in the bucket to try to do an end of session. And it didn't take long for him to finish those and come join me again. So I thought I'd just rub on him a little bit and work on just kind of getting to know each other that way. You can see now he's trying to figure out how to lead off the other side. I'm keeping it a bit shorter. A little bit of using my hand as a target at this stage. And again, that I could look at changing that in the future. I've had him for now a couple weeks and taken him to the new farm. And what I've found is he's really quite sweet and paying attention to me totally within the paddock, but take him out of the paddock and he does get a little excited. So I've had to just use a flag to kind of keep him off of being too studly and stuff like that. And I will show you that in a future session. Again, I just try to do a session finish, giving him some treats. Obviously not enough, because he's back to joining me. He's been at the same farm his whole life. They have done some round pen work with him. He has had a saddle on, but he's never been ridden. So and he hasn't had a ton of footwork done. So as you can see, I'm working through getting him to pick up his foot. The first time I picked up his foot, when I first looked at him, he really snatched it away from me. So here I'm just asking him to step up. I am giving him the positive reinforcement when he's holding it up. And I'm going to sort of show you this process a little bit. You can still see he wants to step back, so I'm rewarding the try at this stage. Again, he kind of steps back, wiggles a bit, but he hasn't had a lot of work done with his feet, so this is going to be the next little sessions here. I'm going to show you just how I'm working through that in a little bit of a different fashion. I'm not making it a big deal. I'm just trying to get him to give me a little bit more. See, that's already a little bit better. But I also want to show you that it's not always an instant thing, and then just taking the time to kind of work through things. Here I'm just asking him to move over. He's like, what do you want? And finally gives it to me, so I reward that, and I ask again, just tipping his nose towards me, a little pressure at the rib cage, and asking him to step across. There's just lots of little things, little details that I'm working on. And here you can see I'm asking him to pick up his back feet, and he's pretty protective of his back legs. So we do lots of turning, lots of kind of moving around. And initially, I'd like I spared you the lots of turning and everything like that, but I finished this session with just rubbing my hand down his leg, so I broke it up a little bit more for him, that I just want him to stand, and I'm going to be able to touch his back leg like that. On this next session, so this is another day, you can see he's already a lot better with picking up the front legs, and rewarding that and holding the time frame a little bit longer. I'm still working here on trying to get him to stand up, and you can see he gets a little like fiddly. I have it on a time and a half here, but that little bit where he was nosing around the shank, where he was trying to actually receive a treat for nothing, so I just kind of put the shank there. You can see here he's still on the move, so I'm going to go in a combination of, if he moves, I'm just going to move with him until he stops and ask again, and we're still moving. Sometimes I find when they're wanting to move more, that I help the movement out. I keep following them till they stop and then ask again. So I ask, he moves. I am going to reward the point because he did pick up his foot a little bit here. So there's going to be a stage where we're going to go through more movement again, as I'm trying to help him understand which part of this behavior I actually want. And again, he's pretty protective of those back legs, so I'm not trying to make a big fuss about it. I'm trying to reward those little tries, which he did there. And then again here, he's tries a little bit. And again, tries a little bit. Reward that. And here he actually like kind of came back into me, so I do clarify to him that that's not a behavior I like. And then we try again, so I'll just wait, to kind of take that deep breath there, re-explain again just a little bit. Now I'm going to go back into asking him to move because he's really wanting to be fiddly. And clarifying, get a better step there, and then I'm going to ask again this time. He's super.
Yes, good
So
boy.
I'm super happy about that.
So much better.
So you can see lots of moving, but eventually we get to the place we need.